Joining me is Economist Judith Sloan. She's a former productivity commissioner, now company director and columnist with the Australian newspaper. Judith Sloan, always great to talk to you. The Reserve Bank raised interest rates by, the official interest rates by 25 points, not 50. That's still enough to hurt a lot of people, I know. But is it enough to bring down this very high inflation that's hurting us all?
Well, I think it was probably a close call, actually, Andrew. It seems to me that having gone 50 basis points a couple of times, the view is that they will probably go 25 basis points each month for quite a long time. Kind of, basically, you've got the frog in the boiling pot, and you'll increase the temperature, but slightly more slowly. Now, one of the issues at the moment is that consumer spending seems to have held up, and actually for the Reserve Bank that's sort of slightly bad news, because there is a sort of important institutional feature of the mortgage market, and that is a lot of people were able to take short-term fixed interest, low interest loans, and they start to come off, particularly in the middle of next year. That is a cliff that will cause an awful lot of pain. But in the meantime, quite a lot of households are actually protected in that sense because they're still in the fixed interest period. So I don't think there was much good news in the announcement today. I think you would have to put your house, excuse the pun, bet your house on another 25 basis points in December and then another 25 basis points in February. So I think you highlighted a very important feature too, is that output growth, GDP growth, is essentially crashing next year. So, when you talk about GDP growth of 1.5%, you have to understand that we've got population growing quite strongly, so that will be a decline in per capita GDP growth.
And of course, less money for the government, more trouble paying for its bills, and it'll be tempted, of course, to rack up tax rates. Why is inflation about to hit 8% now? What is driving this, and has the government got a plan to fix it?
Well, there are a variety of reasons, and of course, and I wrote about this today, that energy prices, electricity prices are a very important factor. And it's not just the fact that retail electricity prices hurt households, but electricity prices drive a lot of other prices, right? So once that gets going, and don't forget in the budget, they were predicting that electricity prices over the next 2 years would increase by 56%. It doesn't end at electricity prices. It's a major input into a lot of businesses, so they will be seeking to put up their prices. So that is one of the major factors. We've got food, we've got rent is also an important factor because we've got a housing shortage, or certainly a shortage of rental accommodation. It's an interesting point that, the government, and I guess this is understandable, are very keen to say it's not our fault, it's floods, it's the Ukraine. But quite a lot of this is homegrown.
Absolutely. The electricity prices is a fair bit of that is homegrown. And the fact is, Labor putting the foot, really pushing hard on more renewable energy, that is only going to get worse and worse and worse. Judith Sloan, thank you so much indeed for your time. Really appreciate it.